Hey everybody, Aaron K on Sage Dynamics, and this is my SCAR 20S in 308. Gotten some questions on the SCAR 20S, so I wanted to make a video of it. Mainly because some people say that there's not a lot of videos out there, and I did a search and I found some, and there's some informative information. And there's of course videos and literature directly from FN America, but the market would rather get a third-party opinion, and I can totally appreciate that, which is probably why you're watching this video versus watching aforementioned directly from the manufacturer information. Now, I guess the issue I have, and I don't even call it an issue, but the thing I've noticed in my shooting career is that when you take the 308 cartridge and you put it in a semi-automatic, you usually lose something, and that something is generally accuracy. Sometimes it's accuracy and reliability. Sometimes it's a combination thereof. And I've always looked for the venerable holy grail of the 308 cartridge and semi-automatic being reliability and accuracy. I want both, and I also want a gun that's not needlessly complicated, that's going to beat itself to death, or is going to have gas regulation issues, because I like to shoot things suppressed. So I want a gun that lends itself very well to those categories, and that's why I had why the SCAR 20 appealed to me. Now, I'll be the first person to admit I'm not SCAR specific. It's not the go-to 5.56 rifle that I'm going to pick up. There's no particular reason for that. There's some just things that I prefer coming over from the AR platform. Now when it comes to the 308 caliber, I found with the SCAR 17 and the SCAR 20S, I like the way this thing works, and this video is kind of like to tell you why. Now my 20S is the same 20S you'd be able to find on the market, the one that's available in the 308 20-inch barrel with the cold hammer forged chrome line barrel and the 1-to-10 twist, which is a great combination of length and twist rate to be able to handle the heavier rounds if those are what you want to shoot, such as like an M118 LR, or if you just want to go, you know, the standard 168 loads that you get. I use a Hornady ELD match, which I found to be a very accurate round out of this gun. It is a short stroke gas piston system with more of a precision or marksman approach to the stock, being that I have adjustable length of pull and adjustable cheek rise, which is something you should have on something that lends itself more for precision use than general purpose use. Now my rifle has a spur mount mounting the Mark 6 from Leupold in 3-18, which I find is really good glass at the horse reticle for the distances at which I'm likely to shoot this gun. I do and have and continue to shoot it out as far as possible. Generally, because the 308 just doesn't have the legs to go beyond it, 1,000 yards is about as far as I'm realistically going to take this gun just for shooting purposes. But generally I spend more time, because just range restrictions being what they are, shooting it a little bit closer than that, 250 and in. It's an exceedingly accurate gun for a semi-automatic 308, which is exactly what I'm looking for, and it suppresses well. I've used 2 different 30 caliber suppressors on this gun, and even though there's chatter out there about the SCAR not liking to be suppressed, I found, especially using an OSS suppressor, that it doesn't mind at all. You just put a suppressor on it and you shoot the gun. And FN makes a suppressor that is kind of, I wouldn't say specific for the SCAR, but it's FN suppressor and FN's guns. So you could almost, not officially, I'm not saying this officially, you can almost officially say that I'm not saying this officially, that it's designed for the short stroke gas piston operating system that you find on the SCAR. I like the 20S because it's kind of a no guesswork rifle. It comes ready to go. You slap a bipod on it, you've got 1913 Picatinny rail section so you can mount your accessories, put an optic on it, and you don't have to mess around with anything else. It comes with a Geisley trigger, a very good trigger, so you don't really have to mess with that, and you don't really have to mess with an aftermarket stock. So out of the, the term out of the box is whatever, but out of the box it's almost ready to go to provide you with your precision needs in a semi-automatic 308 caliber. It's a very easy, intuitive rifle to operate. Gas adjustments, if you even have to make them, are very easy to make. You've got significant rail space on this, which is kind of a departure from the 17S. I would have liked to have seen the same attention to rail length paid to the 17 as was to the 20S, but maybe down the road we'll see different rail options available. Now, I would like the 20S to have M-LOK as opposed to Picatinny, because these days it's actually hard to find native pick mount options besides, like, you know, top rail mount stuff like lasers. But like even a weapon light, I was like, oh, I gotta have a pick mount weapon light. Okay, well, I'll make that work, and I did. Magazines, of course, are proprietary. Getting away from the AR-10 variant of mag was kind of a controversial choice to some people, but I kind of look at it like this. Almost every gun has a proprietary magazine. People don't buy X brand and complain because it has its own mag, because if you think about it, almost every gun you own has a proprietary magazine. Now, there is the AR variant. Everybody talks about the AR variant, and I get that. Like, the AR mag works in all AR variants, but this isn't an AR variant, so you could kind of expect it to have a proprietary magazine. And I'm right there with you. I have a whole bunch of AR-10 or AR-10 or SR-25 spec magazines that I can't put in my SCAR 20S, and that's okay, because it's not that. Getting MOA or better accuracy out of this gun with reliability. I've had it for almost a year now, and in that time I've probably got about 700 rounds on it, which isn't a lot, but it is a lot for a precision gun. This thing goes to the range with me anytime I'm doing just personal shooting, if I'm not doing anything specific. I've also used it for some review purposes, mainly for suppressors, obviously, and I've found that whatever suppressor I put on it, it doesn't care. It just runs. It's a great gun. It's going to give me MOA or better accuracy with what ammunition I put in it at the distances I expect to shoot it, and it's going to do so without a lot of finicky issues. I don't clean this thing. If my group opens up, I punch the bore out. You know, I'll run a wet patch through it and about 10-15 dry patches till they start to come out clean, and then I go right back to the range. That's the extent of the cleaning I'm doing to this gun. That doesn't mean I'm being purposely abusive. It just means that the gun doesn't require a great deal of maintenance in the environment, in the situations that I use it in. Now, granted, if I took it out in the middle of the desert and left it there and did anything kind of super unrealistic like that, I'm sure I could cause the rifle to have issues, but that's not something I've experienced. A question that a lot of people bring up is the SCAR 20S worth the money? And I think that's kind of a personal question. Performance I've seen, yeah, absolutely. I think for what I'm getting in a 308 semi-automatic gas gun, in this case a short stroke piston gas gun, it's worth the money that they charge for it. I think it's a great gun. I think that it fills a very good role, a very needed role of a reliable and accurate firearm in 308 in semi-automatic that is not a derivative of the AR-10 or the SR-25. That doesn't mean that there aren't great guns that aren't the SCAR 20S. It means that if you want a departure from that, and you want to go something that's a little bit more ready to go out of the box, I guess, if you will. And of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but in my shooting history, I've had more trouble with SR-25 and AR-10 clones than I've had good success. And generally, when I found one that was reliable, the reliability was great, but the accuracy wasn't. When I found one that was accurate, the reliability wasn't there. So I got the best of both worlds to a degree that I'm expecting from a semi-automatic feeding the 308 Winchester round. I'm very happy with my SCAR 20S, and I have no intention of ever getting rid of it. It is an excellent gun for what it is. And because I get a heavier profile, longer barrel, 1 in 10 twist, and a cold hammer forged barrel, which is also super awesome, and everything's modular and ready to go, I don't have to think forward down the line of different accessories. It's a long-term rifle, and it's something I'm going to continue to use, and I fully expect to meet the end of barrel life on it because I shoot it and have to replace it and get a new barrel, because it's something I'm going to continue to use. At the end of the day, I'm getting an accurate, reliable 308, which, as I said at the beginning of the video, those are two things that I've always been looking for in a 308 semi-automatic, is accuracy and reliability. It's not going to get you into bolt gun territory of accuracy just based on the harmonics of shooting and all the little fine details that go into what affects end or terminal ballistics or terminal accuracy in a firearm. The less moving parts, the better. So anytime you want semi-automatic, you're going to lose a small degree of accuracy when compared to the same, as close as possible rifle in a bolt action. So I think a more realistic understanding of what you're getting into, manage your expectations. Out of a 308 semi-automatic, this thing is super accurate, and it's super accurate at the distances I'm going to shoot it at. So it fills that void that I've been looking for of something in 308 semi-auto that's both reliable and accurate. Is it the end all be all? I don't know. It is for me, but that's not necessarily for you. I just don't think people should take a bolt gun approach to semi-automatic 308s. It's definitely something I'm going to do. So people wanted to know about my SCAR 20S, how I thought about it, what I felt about it, so I figured I'd make this video and give you guys an idea of kind of how I feel about the 20S. I think it's a great rifle. It's a rifle I intend on keeping, and it's a rifle I intend to keep on shooting. And anytime I need something in a semi-automatic 308 for precision purposes, the SCAR 20S is coming out of the safe. I'm Aaron Count with Sage Dynamics. Train accordingly.